Okay guys, I've been asked a couple questions walking in the grow tent. First off, let's take a look back a little bit. This is literally a camping tent. Some of you guys that may see this told me this wasn't going to work. It was going to have too much humidity, etc, etc. There's no way it was going to really pan out for me. You hoped it would, but you assumed that I wouldn't have success with it. This is in my basement. Second, I have these walls which are satin tablecloth. I was also told by some people that those were not going to work. That number one, they let too much light through and not reflect enough back at the plants. I think they're doing just fine. I've not had a problem with it. I was also told that they wouldn't, keep the heat of the room in very well, and they're doing all right. And the tent's doing just fine. It's in a basement. It's not outdoors. So you have seen what my situation here looks like. Yeah, the tent is a mess, man. I've been working and not. So here's what I'm using. I've got these lights with, they don't even have a name on them. I don't remember what they are. They were on Amazon for like 40 bucks a piece. I have two of those, one on each end of my runs. And one of these, this is a Parfact Works 1000, they call it 1000 watt, full spectrum LED. And they're pretty bright, and they come out as a white light. They have a couple red cells in there, I can tell. But so that's what I have going on that situation. In my tubs, I am running a pump. This pump, not all them lines are hooked up. I had some hooked up to these, and they were failing pretty hard. So their sisters over here were running on Kratky, and they're way healthier. So I just swapped these girls out to Kratky. What I'm using for nutrients, I started everything in last season. I used the Fox Farms Cultivation Nation. That's what I started with last year. That's what I ran with last year, all year. Had really good success. This year I started with that, and man, I don't like the 3-part. I'm tired of mixing. I'm real particular, so I mix it. I make sure it's stirred up well, and I let it set 2 minutes. Then I stir it up again, and then I add the next nutrient, and then I stir it in real well, and then I let it set for 2 minutes, and then I stir it again real well. And when it comes time for bloom, then I add the third one. The CalMag you see there, this is the first CalMag I've ever purchased. I purchased that because I had some burning in these and was hoping that it would help them. Plus, you see a couple of these leaves are pretty gnarly looking. Right here's one. But one out of the bunch, I would say that's not too bad. Nonetheless, I finally broke down and bought some CalMag. CalMag warriors are going to shame me for that, but yeah, this is the first CalMag I've ever purchased. I've gone through, this is my second season, and that's the first CalMag. So anyhow, back to the nutrient itself, and I would have got like Fox Farms or something, but that was like a quarter of the price. It's the same exact thing. Back to the nutrients. I was using the Fox Farms this year. I had posted in one of the pepper groups and asked a very highly respected by me for sure, and highly known grower who's rated more variations than you can shake a stick at. Kind of called him out on the pepper group and said, hey, please, can you help me out here? Does this stuff work? He said he's had pretty good success with it. So there it is. These have been growing in it for, oh geez, what, 2 months now? A month now? A month. And they're just healthy as could be. I'm happy with it. It seems to be doing just fine. When you get to flowering, you switch over to the Maxi Bloom, and you can see this one here. This is Big Bertha, for those of you that's not heard that yet. She's a challenge plant of mine, and oh, here we go. And she's got some peppers growing there. Where's my doggone hand? There's peppers under there anyway. She's got, I think, 6 of them I counted yesterday morning. So that's Bertha. Basic setup. I need to get rid of the garbage in there. That's been building up since I've had the greenhouse. But now that it's getting some foliage in there, I'm noticing some fungus gnats. Not too worried about it because they don't have much for soil in here. These ones back here are double cup soil. I'm not too worried about them. They're doing pretty doggone good. Just that little group right there is. These are in a Kratky, multi-Kratky setup. It's a tub, and they're all in there together, but it is stagnant nutrient water. These ones here, all these big tubs have oxygen going to them, so they're deep water culture. That one there, as I said, is a Kratky challenge. It's in 1 gallon Kratky, and I put it in this crock. This crock does not hold quite a gallon. And to boot, I haven't had that crock more than halfway full in, oh geez, since a couple weeks after that thing started, I think, since I got it in there. These are now Kratky. They started out as deep water culture and weren't doing so well, so I switched them out. And you can, this is all fresh new bloomage since I switched it out. These are starting to do pretty good now. They weren't flourishing so well. They weren't bad, don't get me wrong, but they weren't so well. This guy here is just a little sickly on his leaves. These are giant leaves. I'm going to get rid of them anyway. If you get rid of your burned leaves, your dying leaves, your dead leaves, help it shed them, because what it's doing is it's trying to save it, and when it's trying to save them, it's diverting its energy into saving them and not into growing and or producing peppers. So do your plant a favor and groom it if it needs it. I do not crop the tops of mine. If they break naturally, and a couple of these have, they break naturally, well then they break, and they get to branch out in multiple directions. But I'll tell you, not one of these plants in this room have I cropped the top off of, not purposely. I think there's only a handful of them that actually were broke off. Yeah, I'm not even sure. Anyhow. So that's how I'm doing things. I have also here, for those that haven't seen it before, that's a vacuum that I vacuum out my tubs with. I don't have drains on them, so I just use a wet dry vac. My heater, your heater, if your house is newer than 100 years old, or has a newer heater than that, you're going to have some kind of a drain system for condensation. This particular unit over here, this gray unit with that copper line, that is a humidity, it's a humidifier basically, for the house. So in the wintertime, you don't walk across the carpet and shock the snot out of yourself when you touch anything or anyone. But what that does is when the heater runs, that produces some humidity. It has coils inside of there. Those coils gather condensation. They have it set up so that that condensation, and it's just condensation, it's not this live water line you see here that turns into the humidity, but it does have leftover condensation, which would make it pretty much a type of distilled. It's pretty clean. No ppms when you test it. So you'll see this line coming, not the copper one, but the one behind it there, that clear line. It comes on down, and it used to come on down and run right into the drain. But why would a person not cut that off and put it in here and save their water bill? I live in Colorado. Colorado is technically a desert. I live in a pretty expensive neighborhood, I think. At least our public services and our water bill, if you go over a certain amount of water, they like triple charge you here. It's ridiculous. Anyway, this is my well. I draw water from this well. Good, perfectly clean water. You can also see in the corner down there I have a filter for a garden hose that filters out all your chlorines and chloramines. It filters out pretty much anything that's going to be harsh on your plant. It's for an RV. I think that thing there costs like 27 bucks. Anyhow, that's my well. And that well will fill up every 2 to 3 days, depending on the weather. During the below zero cold snap we had, that was filling up pretty much every day. And what I do is vacuum these down. 2 of those bucket loads. That's roughly 10 gallons, or it's more than 10. I added it because I have to put them in 1 gallon at a time, because I add my nutrients. I'm anal. I'm picky, OCD. So I add them 1 gallon at a time. 17 gallons is what that takes out in 2 draws out of these tubs. So that tub over there holds like 20 gallons. So I just draw these down, 2 draws out of that, about 17 gallons. I've only done it once so far. A lot of people, and these have been going since what? I don't know, October. Beginning of November? I don't remember. I think, yeah, I don't know. Anyhow, I don't remember how long these have been going, but I can assure you they have not been emptied and ran with clear water solution in these for well over a month, which is probably why you see some of them curled leaves and stuff. I need to do a flush. Anyhow, that's my system, guys. Real basic. Don't mean to make you sick when I move my phone around like I do, but you know, I got some stuff going on and I can't get a panoramic view necessarily on the video. So there you have it. That's what I got going on. Y'all have a good day.